You know that dream, right? The one where you find the perfect piece of land, you're going to build a home that is 100% yours. It's a powerful idea. But hold on, before you sign anything, there is a crucial checklist you have to go through to make sure that dream doesn't turn into a nightmare. And that's exactly what it is, isn't it? You're not just buying a patch of dirt, you're buying a vision. You can already see yourself sitting on that porch, coffee in hand, living in a space you created. It's an amazing feeling.
But here's the honest truth. That perfect lot can go one of two ways. It can be the foundation for your future, or it can become a money pit, a black hole that just swallows your budget and your sanity. So let's make sure you end up with the dream home, not the endless frustration.
Okay, first things first, we have to learn how to actually read the land. And I'm not talking about the pretty view. I'm talking about what the ground itself is telling you about the challenges and, more importantly, the hidden costs that are waiting for you. You know, a lot of people fall in love with a sloped lot. You get that great view, maybe a walkout basement, but to your builder and your wallet, it's a giant red flag. You're looking at really expensive earthwork. We're talking cut and fill to make a flat spot, and maybe even thousands of dollars in retaining walls to hold back all that dirt. What you can't see is often more important than what you can. See, if you can't hook up to a city sewer line, you're going to need a septic system. And for that to work, the soil has to pass something called a percolation test, or a Perc test. This is a big one. It's totally non-negotiable. The test itself is pretty simple. A soil scientist digs a few holes, fills them up with water, and times how fast that water drains away. But here's the deal. If the soil drains too slow or, heck, even too fast, the land fails. A failed Perc test means no conventional septic system. And no septic system can literally mean the land is unbuildable. So never, ever buy rural land without making the deal contingent on passing this test. Okay, so we've looked at the ground. Now let's talk about the invisible stuff, the web of rules and regulations that dictates what you can and can't do on your own property. This is where a lot of dreams hit a brick wall, fast if you're not paying attention. Every single piece of land is governed by public zoning laws from the local city or county, and these rules control everything. How far your house has to sit from the property line, how tall it can be, even whether you're allowed to build that cool workshop you wanted in the back. Your first call should always be to the local planning department to verify everything for your specific parcel. Now, beyond the public rules, you gotta watch out for the private ones. They're often called CC&Rs. Covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And trust me, they can be way more strict. Just listen to this story. A client's dream of a modern barnadomium was completely crushed because the private rules demanded an all-brick house, a project-ending mistake they found out about after they bought the land. Okay, next up, easements. You have to understand this one. An easement is basically a slice of your property that someone else has the legal right to use. Could be the power company, could be your neighbor. The point is, you own the land, but you can't build anything permanent on that spot. Period. And you'll see a few common types. Utility easements for power and water lines are pretty much everywhere. Access easements are crucial if your neighbor has to cross your land to get to theirs. The really important thing is to get a survey that shows you exactly where these are. An easement running right through the middle of your perfect build site? Well, it's not so perfect anymore. All right, we've checked the land, we've checked the laws. Now let's talk about the money, because that price on the real estate sign, that's just the beginning. The true cost of the land includes every single dollar it takes to get it ready for a house. Seriously, in today's world, this is a huge one. Don't just take the seller's word for it that internet is available. You need to call the actual providers and ask them what service you can get at that specific address. Finding out you can only get spotty, slow satellite internet can be an absolute deal breaker, especially if you work from home. Okay, let's run through some hard numbers and brace yourself. If you need a septic system, you need to budget for a big expense right out of the gate. We're talking $10,000, $20,000, and sometimes even more. No city water? Then you're drilling a well. The cost for this can be all over the place, depending on how deep they have to go to hit good water. But it's another major budget item, easily $8,000 to $15,000. And now here's the number that should really make you sit up straight. If you buy a tough lot, one that's covered in trees on a steep slope and way back from the road, the cost to clear it, grade a building site, and pour a long driveway can blow past $100,000. That bargain piece of land just became the most expensive property you could have bought. And one last thing on the money front, don't forget the tax man. Property taxes on empty land are usually super low, but the second your beautiful new home is finished, the county is going to reassess the property. Your tax bill is going to jump a lot, and that's a new permanent cost you've got to budget for. So, after all these warnings and checks and potential costs, what is the single most powerful move you can make? What's the one thing that can save you from a catastrophic, multi-thousand-dollar mistake?
Let me ask you this. If you only had 1 hour to do your research before you made an offer on a piece of land, what would you do with that hour?
This is it. This is the answer. Before you even think about signing a contract, you pay a good local builder for 1 hour of their time to walk that property with you. It will be the best money you spend in this entire process, bar none. And here's why it's so critical. You and a builder are looking at the exact same thing, but you're seeing two totally different worlds. You see a beautiful grove of trees. They see the cost of tree removal. You see a charming little creek. They see potential floodplain issues. They have X-ray vision for problems and costs that you would never even think to look for. When it's all said and done, it comes down to this simple idea. Buying land is about building a dream, but that dream has to be built on a foundation of solid knowledge. If you do your homework, if you ask the right questions, and if you get expert advice up front, you're not just buying dirt. You're ensuring that the home you build will be a source of joy for years to come.